Well, I'm Mike Tannian, and I'll be talking about web design. Well, in our society, we're constantly overloaded with information, right? We have knowledge, information, images, and messages that are vying for our attention. And so there's a few things that your site needs to achieve when you're designing it. And you have a couple minutes to achieve this. In the first few seconds, when a viewer comes on the site, the first thing you need to do is make sure it gives off a good first impression. You need a hook. The home page is the best place to have a hook because it's the most trafficked page of the website. So you need content or a visual design, some sort of information that's going to lure the viewer further into the site and get them interested in what your site has to offer. Your site needs high editorial and design standards. A site that looks sloppily built and that has poor visual design and low editorial standards is not going to inspire confidence. Take this site, for example. This was actually listed on websites on some site that lists the worst websites of 2009. I mean, you look at this does not inspire confidence. Lingscars.com, they lease cars out. But if I'm going to lease a car, I'm not going to go here because they can't even design a website properly. It's cluttered. You don't know what to focus on. Your eyes are constantly, okay, what am I looking at here? And we're going to talk about more, later on, why this site is so poorly designed. But it just doesn't inspire confidence. I wouldn't lease a car from this site. Uncluttering, as we can see here, is an important thing to do for every website. And there's something called the Swiss Army knife approach, which in some ways we implement in our site. You can see that when you click on self-evaluation, there's all these subheadings: understanding who you are, your goals in life. Well, on most sites with the Swiss Army knife approach, under the navigation tool heading like self-evaluation, it would actually be a link. So understanding who you are would be a link, and it would take you to a page about understanding who you are. And this declutters the website because instead of having a heading with 5 points under it, it only shows up when you click on it. Well, after the first impression, which is in the first few seconds, you have several more seconds to make sure that the visitor is convinced that your site is easy to use. People have expectations about how a site should work. And so when you're designing your site, especially navigation tools, you want to make sure that it's based off of the general navigation and layout conventions that are seen in most websites, especially the popular websites.